Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com and on iHeartRadio. Alongside Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, big week in the sporting week here in Hot Springs and the surrounding areas. High school football right around the corner.
Mark, we are so pumped up, man. I mean, this is what we live for. Regional stuff, all these kids getting back in it, working out every day. And, of course, the heat is on now, but, boy, the heat will really be on in just, about a month. And so we are kicking into gear right now, buddy.
We are almost there. Our high school football summer preview series continues this week. We open our show today with a look at the Lakeside Rams. Last season, Lakeside was just 5 points away from reaching its first Class 5A state title game since 1975. Fueled by last year's heartbreaking finish, the Rams charge into 2025, looking to finally bring the trophy home to Garland County. Coach Garen Rockwell joins us on the program this week. Coach, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me, and thanks for the kind words, except that last part, man. That last part, man, 5 points?
5 points in really just maybe a few seconds, Coach. But look, you got to look at the positives, right? A 10-win season, one of the best for the Rams in recent memory. Since you've taken the reins, the culture has shifted. I think it's very easy to say that the culture has shifted in Ram country. Everybody wants to know, Coach, what's the secret?
Hard work, and then after that, more hard work, and then after that, we go eat. So that's the secret. But to be serious with you, man, the secret really is just the community and the kids, and you got to kind of sell yourself and sell your program, but they bought into it, and honestly, what I tell the community and the kids all the time is, the first thing I'm going to do is respect you. I'll probably respect you more, even when you don't deserve it. The next thing is I'm going to love you. And the third and the final thing is I'm going to feed you. And those are the three things that I stand on and stand by. And I think with those three things, you can get, it don't matter if you coach football or you a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I think building relationships and starting with those three pillars, you can turn anything around.
Tracy, I don't know about you, but I have not used any high school football eligibility. True story. I think we need to go enroll at Lakeside. That sounds pretty good to me, Tracy.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what right now, Mark, that he had to admit when he said feed me. He had him when we had feed me, man, right away.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Coach, so many great moments from last season. Of course, the opening win over Lake Hamilton, a huge rivalry match, big win over Camden Fairview. I think one of my favorite Lakeside moments from last year was, I guess technically it's the loss to Joe T. Robinson in the regular season, because then you roar back, you drive to West Little Rock, and you take them down in their home stadium. What was that turnaround like, and what was it that ultimately showed your team what it was really capable of against a tough opponent?
That talking about kind of start with the first game. We went and played them, had a really bad first half, trying to get it just to the speed of the game. And the way that we fought back in the second half, even though we lost and had some questionable calls, the thing that when I knew we were coming off the field, and the kids were telling me, they were saying, Coach, we're going to be back right here in the playoffs, second round. And I was like, how do y'all know that already? They, how kids are, social media, they done already looked down the line and stuff. And they was just like, Coach, we're coming back and we're playing them right in the playoffs, second round. And lo and behold, we did. And it's kind of one of those things I tell people all the time. When young men put their mind at something, and this goes with every generation, but when young men come together and a community comes together and put their mind at something, it's a beautiful thing. And that win that night at Robinson, that was just those young men coming together, speaking it. As soon as the seconds went off the clock the first time, and then the community coach staff, we got behind them, and it was a great win.
Coach, you were just talking a while ago about the culture and what it represents and how you feel about things, but also getting down just to brass tacks with the style of football that you play now that you've been here for a little while. The sophomores, the freshmen are now the ones that are really playing for you and stepped up. Do you see them transitioning to your style of football a little bit more in the way that you want to play the game?
I'd say yes, sir. This group of kids, these seniors that I have, they were sophomores when I first got the job. And so they, this is the third year, and they've been, I call it, they've been through the fire with me. And so my style of ball it's an aggressive old style of ball. I grew up and played and won a state championship in Texas. I played for the late great David Ream, and he was a man that did not talk much, and he wasn't as exciting on the sideline as I am. But at practice, he would work your butt off. Like, for him to be a silent man like that, he didn't holler, scream, or nothing. So his workouts were very intense, and so my philosophy is, as a coach, like he was, David Ream, for me, get those kids as top physical shape as you can before the season, and then that should help everything else out. But I really believe that the coach, the shift in the culture really was us just showing up and coming to work every day and working hard and having an aggressive mindset in anything you do, because this is an aggressive game, right? And you got to have aggressive young men and get them in physical top shape to be able to play at a high level.
Team had a great season last year, averaging 40.6 points per game. You've got one of the best quarterbacks in 5A. What are some of the challenges facing the Rams this season as you ultimately look to get over that hump and try to get to War Memorial Stadium in December?
Yeah, the two biggest things, like everybody in the state in 5A are wondering about us is, of course, our offensive line. We lost three seniors, a center, and then the whole right side of the offensive line, and then our running back, of course. We had, Grady Oldman, who signed with Hendrick. He graduated. So, those are the two biggest challenges. Of course, our defense is brand new. This is our third year with our 3-4 staff defense, and we just got to keep getting better with that, And our offense was really good last year, but, if regular season, then if you take out that last game against Farmington, we were holding opponents at 19 points. I think it's 19.3 yards, 19.3 points a game. So, so the defense, offensive line, and our running backs are the three things that we got to keep improving on.
And sometimes one of the best things a team can have, Coach, is a clean slate. You come into a new season here, you start things off, and I mentioned it already at the start of the interview. This season opener, Lakeside and Lake Hamilton, quite the historic rivalry over the years. Of course, you've been with Lakeside a very long time. Renewing this rivalry has been, one, really positive for Lakeside, according to the past couple of results, but two, really special for uniting some Garland County schools in the area. What does this rivalry mean to you, and what can fans look forward to in this year's season opener?
The game. That's what they call it. The game, man. So it's the name within itself tells you about it. If you want to see like a really genuine rivalry football game, you can come to Lake Hamilton, man, on the 29th and watch it, because the stands are going to be packed. It's going to be a lot of passion. There's going to be fireworks. Coach Gillerin on the other side, he's done a great job. And, they feel like this is their year to beat us. And, we're just going to try to go out there and give it our best, because it's kind of like I've been telling everybody on these. At Lakeside, we have the pressure at the beginning of the season playing our rival. And then we have the pressure at the end of the season before we get ready for the playoffs to play our other rival, which is Hot Springs. So as far as the fans are concerned, they need just to be ready for some Garland County football, man, because all the teams, you can go from Lake Hamilton all the way to Fountain Lake Cutter, like everybody football team and program has improved. Garland County fans, you don't have to go to Saline County or Pulaski County to watch football. You can stay down here in Garland and watch it.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this real quick. Now, you were talking about coming to work every day, and, of course, that's what it is when you have those 7-on-7 and team camps. What have you seen so far in the team camps or the 7-on-7 that you can take as a positive, and then what do you see as that you still got to work on a little bit?
Yes, sir. Well, we were the 7-on-7 champions last year. The hot boys of summer, and everybody was excited. But we had to make a transition this year because our offensive line, we lost a lot, lost those 3 guys of 3. And so we really focused on team camps this summer. We went through the shootout of the South, and we were undefeated in that. A really bad. You remember all that rain and those storms were coming during that time. So we finished 7-0 at the shootout of the South, but we couldn't finish because the storm stopped us. But we went to some team camps, and we just needed the reps. And anybody that knows about team camps, it's all about getting reps, getting it on film, and then being able to, kind of help you guys in the summer get themselves better from what you do in the spring. So I was pleased as far as what we've done this summer. Our attendance has been really good. It's been in the 90th percentile pretty much every day. You get a little shaky on Thursday, Friday, but the summer has been great. The kids are excited. They're working there. We work out in the morning from 7 to 9, and in the summertime, kids don't like to wake up, but they've been waking up, man, and it's been a good summer.
Coach, I'm going to go ahead and ask you the tough question. It's the one that everybody wants to know this year. How does this team beat Little Rock Parkview?
Yeah, man, the Juggernauts, they've been the Juggernauts for a couple of years now, 5A, since they've been bumped down from 6A to 5A. And they were problems in 6A. So that is a good school, good program. We have not, I said the same thing, when I took the job against Lake Hamilton. We were talking about Lake Hamilton before we started winning there. We hadn't got the job done against Parkview. And, it all falls on me. That's a good group of guys out of there in Parkview, but we got to do a better job of just being more physical when we play them. They're a physical brand of football just like we are, and we got to be able to play 4 quarters and hang with them. But right now, Parkview is still the king. So
heavy is the head that wears the crown, but the Rams are coming. Coach, congratulations on all of the success for this program over the past few years. Football is very bright in Garland County, just like you said. We can't wait to see what Lakeside does this season. Thanks for joining us this week.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's always good to talk to you guys.
Coach Garen Rockwell of Lakeside High School. More to come on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. We'll be back in just a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE, and online at kvre.com. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, it is the dog days of summer. It is hot outside. And I know that you don't necessarily have young kids anymore like I do, but the kids are stir crazy. It's too hot to go outside and do anything. It feels like even going out and like going swimming somewhere, it just feels like a chore at this point. So we've been staying inside a lot, watching a lot of movies. I've actually had a lot of fun this week in particular, introducing the boys to some of my favorite sports movies of all time. Obviously with the big release of Happy Gilmore 2 coming out yesterday on Netflix, I knew that, Hannah and I, we were ready to sit down and watch Happy Gilmore 2, but we knew that we couldn't do it because the boys had never seen Happy Gilmore 1. So we sat down this week and boy, I always thought that those movies were, they're a little bit crude, I guess. They're not for everybody, but with the humor and everything. But I'm telling you this much, Little River Oliver absolutely loved it. And of course, so did Ben and Michael. And, it got me thinking, growing up as a kid in the 90s, I was exposed to so many great sports movies that still kind of resonate with me today. And I still find myself watching with my kids and rewatching and reliving some of those memories. So I thought we'd kind of have an open, lighthearted segment away from, the cold, hard world of sports news during the summer, and maybe share some of our favorite sports movies of all time. There's so many iconic ones out there. And I'll even admit, some of the more popular ones out there are ones that I still have not seen, but let's have a friendly roundtable here and talk about some of our favorite sports movies of all time. What is a sports movie that you just keep going back to time and time again?
Oh man, I tell you what, lighthearted, there's stuff, but then when you want to get to the ones that really get to you, the feeling ones, and stuff like that.
Hit you in the feels, the motivational, inspirational.
There's a couple of them. I'll be honest with you. I got to put We Are Marshall and Remember the Titans right up there together. And I know what you're going to come up with a couple, because you got the little guys that are going to have some fun with it too.
Sure.
And I'm going to like those too, because man, there's nothing like when it comes to sports, whether it's a little bit on the comedy level or having fun or gut-wrenching. But both those. Remember the Titans is pretty, that, and because the music that come with it too, and just the accolades of those guys getting together and embracing each other. And a lot of it also because of the time and the challenge it was, during the 60s, what it did to bring people together. And I think that had a lot. It wasn't all just about football, the underlying basis of becoming a team, and and there's no I in team, and of course the racial indication and stuff. So it was a touching show, and of course I'm not going to give it all away if you haven't seen it, because because the end is pretty good.
But of course, Denzel Washington.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Is an amazing actor. And that helps. If it was anybody else besides Denzel, is the movie as good? Can't be, right?
It's. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
He helps make the movie.
It helps, dude. That's the whole doubt. That's the whole deal about it. But then, I'm gonna throw it back in your lot. Well, give me one of yours. And because if you think about it, what was your favorite part of Remember the Titans? See, that's what I'm saying.
Well, to me, it's the music that stands out.
There you go.
So this is not one that was actually on my list that I was going to talk about, but because you mentioned the music in sports movies, I don't necessarily believe that this is actually a good sports movie. But the music was there, and the music hits. And I'm telling you, it was one of those things back when we used to buy music soundtracks on CD back in the day. Space Jam, for sure. The music, start to finish on the soundtrack. I know it's not for everybody. It was definitely for me, though. And had some just iconic tracks on there, artists before they got big. Whenever you look back at it today, you're like, man, they put that many A-list music celebrities on one album. That was crazy.
I know.
I loved Space Jam for what it was as a youngster growing up in the 90s. But in terms of my favorite sports movies, obviously, I think my favorite sports movie all time probably has to be The Sandlot. In terms of iconic baseball movies, River actually watched The Sandlot for the first time this summer, and he is absolutely infatuated with Wendy Peppercorn.
Of course.
And he will go back.
Of course.
And this is a true story. He will go back and watch the swimming pool scene. He'll turn on Sandlot just for the swimming pool scene. He'll watch it a few times on repeat, and then he'll move on to something else.
Well,
but
is he going to get him some glasses? Just because of that.
He does. He does have some glasses. He doesn't wear them. His optometrist says he's supposed to. The Sandlot. It's full of so many great movies, so many one-liners. You're killing me, Smalls. Of course, with the Beast. Hercules, James Earl Jones.
There you go. See, that's the Denzel Washington. And you got to have that guy, right?
And he's not even the main character in the movie, and he doesn't have to be. He is a legend in that movie for how small it is. But the thing I like about The Sandlot the most is that I think, especially now as an adult, is you can really relate to the characters. Everybody, no matter who you are, you watch that movie and you see one of that cast of characters and you're like, that was me as a kid. That kid was me. Maybe you were the athletic Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Oh.
Or maybe you were like Smalls, who's probably a lot more like me, that wasn't the athletic superstar necessarily, but just like wanted to be part of something. And of course, with the Beast, and what is the Beast? And it sounds so big, and it ended up being a pretty big dog, but it's just this dog that loves to collect baseballs that go over the fence, and the Babe Ruth ball, and
oh my goodness gracious.
so many great moments, right? So having those moments, and of course, I like you said, I think good sports movies go beyond just the game in the sports. The Sandlot was a lot about friendship and creating those memories together. And of course, Benny the Jet Rodriguez goes on to play for the LA Dodgers.
Goes on to play.
Who's in the booth announcing the games? It's Smalls, his buddy, right? So I love movies like that. Something for everybody. There's a little bit of crude humor in there. I love that aspect of it. So yeah, that's another one that really stands out to me. Another one that I really, really like that is not necessarily a super great movie. It also had a remake as well, The Bad News Bears. Obviously, you can tell I'm a baseball fan, right? So the Walter Matthau original version is iconic. It's a gem.
The best.
And it was great because it was different. It went against the grain, and Buttermaker is this really crude, but especially in the Billy Bob Thornton remake version,
he's
quite vulgar
Yeah.
and crude, and the kids are vulgar, and it's probably River's favorite movie because one of the kids in the movie is basically spitting image of River, potty mouth and all. But I like it because it highlights the kids that I think it kind of like shows kids on like how they actually are. Some of them are a little bit weird. Some of them are a little bit angsty and aggressive. And, anybody, these past couple of years, I've really gotten the opportunity to get into coaching for Little League, whether it was flag football here in the village or even with T-ball over at Majestic Park this past year. I've really gotten to wear that coaching hat and be involved with youngsters around that age. And movies like The Bad News Bears really portray what it's really like to be the coach of a bunch of rambunctious youngsters out there. And to me, it's movies like that and memories like that are really, really funny to go back to, because it's like, yeah, I remember the stinky kid that nobody,
Nobody, oh my goodness.
So, so those are two I think that really stick out to me. That, man, if I need something to watch, I'll go back to an old favorite. Yeah, that's what we're gonna put on, some classic baseball movies.
And you obviously have gone to your baseball, and I've already stated a couple, about football and stuff. But the list goes on and on and on. But we got to bring up Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, in the list. But I'm gonna throw one out at you that you might not have seen, and a lot of folks might not have seen. It's called My All-American.
I have not seen it.
And this is going to be a different version, because now we're talking about movies that are been written, okay, fictional.
Yeah.
This is based on a true story.
Okay.
And it is something, and being down in Texas and being inside that stadium and being inside dressing room, I've been there. It was there. This guy's plaque is right there, and you see it every time you come in and out dressing room. And so it's heartfelt. It'll get you. It's another one of those, but it shows a lesson in life. And that's another version of what we're talking about. Whether it's not all about just football, it gives you, but it's based on a truth, and it's close to it. I've read the book too, and it's close to it. So that's a big one. Going back, there's just so many iconic movies. I mean, and the list goes on. And here's one before you were even born. Brian's Song, based on a true story once again. So but the music, number one hit came out of it.
That's right. That's right.
So and here's, I'm gonna throw another one. Of course, I'm sticking with that football theme. The Blind Side.
Yes.
Little it hits close to my house. My
Oh, well,
So,
in some ways, your story kind of parallels the story of The Blind Side a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
So these are some great, you go from versions where it's family orientated to where it's all the way up to where it's like you were talking about, the latter part of Bad News Bears, it's a little bit on the but
Yeah, a lot of the movies, especially these days, kind of have that crude humor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to like throw. It feels like you're talking all football movies. I'm mainly talking baseball movies because I know that I can't end this segment without talking about Angels in the Outfield.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Danny
You
Glover
went there.
is that kind of crude coach. He's not Billy Bob Thornton crude,
No.
right? But I remember Angels in the Outfield, and this is such just an obscure element of the movie. But when I think about that movie, of course, the old woman, I can't remember what her name is, but she basically runs foster care,
Right.
and the two main characters
They come in there.
are basically in the foster care system. And I remember that growing up as a kid, I had the same bed sheets as the kids in the
That
Angels
was
in the
in there?
Outfield
Oh,
movie.
my goodness,
yeah,
yeah.
the MLB bed sheets. I had the exact same ones, and that's what always sticks out to me. And I always say all the time, as I probably quote this to my wife on a daily basis, hey, it could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
And-
I've heard
you know,
you say it too many times.
they have stories for that I think resonate with people that grew up in all walks of life, and I'm glad for that too, right? So
I'm surprised you didn't come with baseball, one of the most famous baseball.
Field of Dreams, Major
Hello?
League.
Hello.
Major League
Okay,
Two?
Finally. Okay. Field of Dreams. Major League. Oh my goodness.
As a sports announcer, people always come to me and they're like, when are you going to go Major League? Be like the announcer on Major League,
I'll go, yeah. Okay.
the Bob Eckers of the world.
It comes tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
I'm like, yeah, but I'd probably lose my job, And now imagine if we're about to go into year 16 of Fountain Lake football. Imagine if we just decide to go rogue one year.
Hey, missed it by that much. We've got a lot more going. Great previews though with these coaches.
That's right. Our high school football summer preview series continues when we come back in just a moment. This is 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE, live online at kvre.com and on iHeartRadio. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Our high school football preview series continues with a look at the Bauxite Miners. Following a season marred by the injury bug, the Miners embrace a clean slate with the 2025 campaign looming ahead. Coach Caleb Perry joins us on the show this week. Coach, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Coach, they say that adversity makes a team stronger, makes a team tougher. In your own words, how is Bauxite responding to some of that injury adversity that you saw last year as you prepare for a new season this fall?
Well, it's anytime a kid is injured, it's a gut check. They kind of go through a kind of a period of despair, where they feel like hope is lost, and it can get kind of dark for a guy when he's first hurt, especially a season-ending injury. Because you're usually looking at surgeries and all those types of things, and you're kind of out of the picture, and you're not around your team. Sometimes you can't even come to school because you've had surgery, you can't walk, can't do this, can't do that, and so you're not around everybody. And then of course the therapy kicks in, and the therapy is always painful. And we've got a bunch of young men that had to really do some tough things this year, and so I think these guys that did have some injuries, they are definitely better people on the flip side of it. I think they understand how precious every day is. In one moment, football can be taken away, and so to not forget about how important today is. Just enjoy where you're at, and then also the character elements that you develop while you are having to go through that. Personally, I think a lot of people listening probably have had injuries, and they know what it's like to push through. And and of course these guys have done a great job, and the other guys that weren't hurt did a great job in off season, and so we're really excited about where we are right now. I think
a lot of guys come back this fall stronger, healthier, more experienced as well. Take us behind the scenes of what the summer and the off season has looked like for you and your guys. What can fans expect out of Bauxite this fall?
Yeah, so I think anytime you lose a player like a Marcus Wimberly,
you kind of look around and you go, oh my gosh, how are we gonna make it back? Who's gonna step up? And I tell you, we have just so many young men that just really bought into the weight room. In fact, these guys that are on the team now, most of these guys have been lifting weights since 6th, 7th grade, and so we have a long history of being in the weight room, and these young men have worked so hard for so long. And for a lot of them, it's that year, God kind of touches you, and you just kind of become a man overnight. It seems like. I mean, we look at pictures of some of these guys 6, 7 months ago, and they just look completely different. And so it's just a testament to them buying into the nutrition, the lifting, the consistency, and just really the consistency, just sticking in there and not quitting and staying with it. As far as our team is concerned, on paper, we're the biggest, fastest, strongest Bauxite team that's ever come through, and that's not a knock on any of the teams before us. We have such a great standard of expectation at Bauxite from the success our school has had in years past, and these guys want so desperately to fulfill their end of the obligation as being a Bauxite miner. And so all these kids are so grateful for the teams that came before them, but we also recognize that we've done a great work this year in the off season, and had a few kids move in. We've also had some guys decide they didn't want to play, but I think the guys that we have right now, we've got a really good thing happening, and I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. We're just going to take one game at a time and worry about today, and we will, I think we'll achieve more if we focus on what we're doing right now.
Coach, you were talking about, the Wimberleys of the world, but, that certain bell cow, so to speak. But, all right, now who are you looking at, or who all are you looking at as far as the team? What young men are going to step up and maybe fill in those cleats and get you guys to that next level this year? Name us a few of them.
Yeah, so you have really 3 Division I football players that'll be playing. Bernie Fox, he hasn't received an offer yet, but he will this fall, just because he was one of the guys he basically missed the whole season last year. He plays outside linebacker for us. He plays middle linebacker. He's 6'5", 195, runs about a 4.6 40. Oklahoma was big on him last summer until he got hurt, and so. But he's going to pick up some offers. And of course, we got Evan Goodwin, 4-star, best lineman in the state. He'll play O-line and D-line for us. Then you have Elijah Perry. He's had a couple offers as a linebacker. Actually, he plays quarterback and linebacker, but he's been offered by Southern Miss and UT Martin. And then we've got some other guys that are also college football players. What level they are yet is still to be decided, but Cole Witherington is a guy that will play both ways. He's a dominant receiver. He's like 215 pounds. He's 6'1", 215. He plays wide out for us, but he also plays outside linebacker. And there's going to be a school find a diamond in the rough with him. And Jaden Banks is a junior, and he's also a guy that's probably going to play in college somewhere. He's our fullback defensive tackle. He's about 5'10", 230, and he's just a dog. And so we also just some of the seniors that we have. Bryce Bearden is a 3-year starter. He brings so much to the table. We just have a lot of really good guys. Cash Robinson, Brody Cole, Jace Teague. Like I said, Cole Witherington already. Let's see here. Taylon Henderson. Austin Campbell, Cord Vokey. We got a lot of seniors. Matthias Moore also is a guy that's really a good football player for us. We got a lot of really good seniors, man. They love each other. They're doing a fantastic job, and so I think this year's going to be a great year for us. So we're really excited to be where we are.
Well, Coach, I like what I'm hearing so far out of the squad, and I know that one of the goals this season is probably to get back into the postseason, and I know in order to do so, you've got to treat every single game in 7-4A play like a must-win game. I'm looking at that conference opener, Coach. I know it's at Fountain Lake, but tell the world, look, the expectation is 150-plus overall points. Tell me about that 78-72 win last year. Where does that rank in Bauxite history?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I can assure you this. It was up there. You know, I know that historically Bauxite has kind of been a control-the-clock type school, slow it down, keep everybody fresh, you know, try to end the game, you know, kind of not lengthening the game by any means. And so now we've kind of switched over to a tad bit more of a hurry up. We weren't full-blown hurry up last year. We'll probably be a little bit faster this year. And, of course, Fountain Lake, they throw it around. And so that quarterback they have over there is man, he's a scary guy. Coach Richardson and I are really good friends, and he does a great job over there. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I don't care if we win, you know, 1-0 or whatever. I mean, hopefully it won't be quite the thriller that it was last year, but, you know, I guess it makes for a great story to tell, huh?
No doubt, Coach. You know, it's not like the dog days when Dan Dawson was there and they were grinding them out. But you guys should have a good year this year. We expect nothing else, and we can't wait to watch some of you guys.
We appreciate it, and we're excited to get out there and lock the gate when people come to the pit. So thank you guys for having us. Go Miners.
Yeah, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. You know, sometimes it's that rise from the ashes kind of story coming back from a season that you hoped for more last year. We're really excited to see what Bauxite does this year. Good luck to you guys the rest of the summer, whether it's 7-on-7 and team camps, and can't wait to see what the Miners do representing Saline County well this fall. All right, much more to come on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. We're back in a moment for our local roundup right here on 92.9 KVRE and online at kvre.com.
Fourth quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE. Fourth quarter is here. It's time for our local roundup. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, we begin on the baseball diamond this week, where the 2025 season of the Natural State Collegiate League is in the books. Majestic Park was jam-packed this summer. Congratulations to the Blues.
The Blues. Mm-hmm.
What a comeback story for this squad. They're led by Alan Hall, who also works at Henderson State University in Arkadelphia. The Blues went 2-13 in the regular season, only to get red hot in the postseason. They went 5-1 in the playoffs. They swept the number 1 seed Jockeys in 2 games to win the title. I know on this show we talk a lot about baseball, and one of the most romantic things about the sport is that when you're hot, you're hot. What a comeback story for this squad.
And you're exactly right, Mark. That's the analogy that we've had for years now. I mean, it just seems like during postseason, some of them have them, some of them don't. And I think a lot of this has to do also that they got some players back that weren't on the original team during their so-called conference play or whatever you don't want to say, that kind of deal. But it just seemed to be the right place at the right time. And it helped also, though, with some of the play that went on. I think the scheduling, you know, a lot of that had to do. And then I think also that when you watched them and you were there for it, those back-to-back games when they had to play, I don't know, doubleheaders and such, I think that aided them because I think their pitching was a little bit stronger than the other teams.
Yeah, I know that they were dealing with a little bit of injuries to some of their pitching staff this year. But, one of the really cool things about this league, and whether it's the Blues or anybody else that competes in this league, a lot of premier local college talent is featured in this league. National Park College has many players that some are from the local area, some are not from the local area, but they decided to stay the summer in Hot Springs, continue working on their craft, getting set for their sophomore seasons, getting ready for fall ball with their respective colleges. I know that South Arkansas College in El Dorado, who just won the NJCAA Region 2 and District Championship, had a lot of players compete in this league as well. I believe they had an MVP as well of the league. So, there's a lot of big names here that are, not only continuing to work on their craft, they're trying to elevate themselves to the next level as they look for those 4-year universities. This league was built really as an additional stepping stone to get guys to where they want to be. And the attendance at these games has been really, really great. It really kind of helps fill that sports gap that we have during the summers where, high school's not competing, college is not competing. This is that perfect mix, that perfect bridge to help bridge that gap and get you through to fall ball. And the talent level, I mean, when you talk about a team that didn't do super well in regular season play, 2-13, turns it on in the playoffs. Every single team in this league, there's 6 of them, and of course they're looking to add 2 more teams next season. They're expanding, and I think they're just growing the love of baseball in Hot Springs. Not like it's not big enough already, but shout outs to Majestic Park for providing the perfect place to continue growing such a strong baseball connection here in our own backyard.
No doubt. And I'll tell you further that when I left there and went to a local grocery store, I ran into 2 different teams that were from out of state that were there. And then some softball players too. They had all kinds of stuff going on. And so it's great to have the combination of these teams playing here, but it's also good to have a healthy commerce going on that brings it to the Hot Springs area, and that's always important. We've always talked about that too. It's in what they can do to go around as tourists. They're basically tourists, but they get to go around and see what Hot Springs has to offer. And like you were talking about, the baseball history is something special.
And, of course, Hot Springs Baseball Weekend right around the corner. And it feels like every day I get on Facebook, there's another big name that's added to the roster. We'll be talking more about Hot Springs Baseball Weekend coming up in later shows. And, of course, the Fall Babe Ruth World Series and the World Series Village, it's all right around the corner. Get your tickets now, majesticpark.org. Let's change gears. Tracy, if you blinked, you missed it. Tonight, the final regular season home game for Hot Springs Wise Guys Arena Football. Throw off 7:05 p.m. tonight, and the Wise Guys are red hot right now after a huge 41-37 win over the St. Joseph Goats a week ago. They avenged that tough loss in Missouri from the week before. Now tonight, they'll have the Iowa Woo to close the regular season. The Woo defeated the Wise Guys. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. We can say that after we win tonight. Okay. So the Woo defeated the Wise Guys 44-26 back in June. There's been a lot of football that's been played since then. And like we saw last week, there's no place like home. Bank OZK Arena was rocking. And it will be tonight as well. A position in the playoffs for the inaugural season of Wise Guys football is on the line. And a really fun thing, a fun local thing being tied to this game tonight. It's the Quarterback Challenge featuring high school quarterbacks from local area schools. I know Lake Hamilton is represented, Jessieville is represented, Cooper Bus and the Fountain Lake Cobras are going to be there. Fun for everyone, a high-stake matchup. Playoffs are on the line. You have to be there tonight.
Yeah, I think this is the way that they've combined a lot of local, the community and everything getting involved. I think that's just been exceptional, and how they continue to draw crowds. I know the opening night was one thing, but now it's more and more and more. But how the marketing aspect of it, with the effect that to generate the numbers that have been coming. Mark, I cannot see anything but them returning next year to do it again. I think the numbers were there, and I just love the involvement. I just wish there was more jerseys to go around, because we're going to be asking for some of those. And I guarantee you we've already had several of you listeners out there that have asked for them. So we're working on that right now, and we will have a giveaway down the road of one of their jerseys. So pretty cool stuff there. I think that it's been an exceptional year, and I can't wait till tonight. It's going to be a fun night.
So let's switch gears again. Let's take it to the green, where the men's club championship at the Hot Springs Country Club has crowned a new champion. Carson Garner takes the top spot, competing in the Open Division, shot a 139 throughout the 2-day tournament, and took the win by a 3-stroke margin of victory. He's a recent Montana State University graduate, but more importantly, he is the newly hired assistant golf coach at Lakeside High School. Carson Garner bringing home the championship trophy, now looking to bring a championship trophy home to Ram Country. Your thoughts?
Well, historically, going years and years back, Lakeside has always had a great program, of course, with the 2 courses they've got right there in their backyard. And I think that basically has helped develop the rest of the county, because you take the likes of Fountain Lake over here, who just come off winning a state championship, and of course having the availability of, Magellan and the other courses here in the village. So it's a great way of connecting the kids, and then, and developing not only their skills, but also having the coaches come in and try to get a position there that are high quality. And I mean, you're talking about some guys that not only walk the walk, but talk the talk. And the guy of his level that knows play and knows how to put it into action is nothing but going to be great for the Rams. I know that because the guy knows the game, obviously winning a club championship over there and now showing his skills and sharing them with the kids over at Lakeside. This is just another feather in the cap for Lakeside, and the availability of a coach like that 24/7. Are you kidding me?
And of course, what a homecoming. He's a Lakeside High School graduate.
He's
so
local.
Coming in,
Yeah.
I mean, he is the perfect guy. I know he's just the assistant coach. He'll be coaching underneath Coach Brandon Burton. But I mean, Garner played all 4 years for Lakeside Golf when he was a high schooler. And he also, fun fact, he also played basketball under Coach Brandon Burton when he was a student at Lakeside. So cool connections, great homecoming. I think Lakeside Golf is going to be in a great position moving forward.
Yeah, and you think about the past when he played there and such, and then they won the championship as a junior and such, and he was part of that team that helping kids develop, both the girls and the guys. That's what it's all about. And being part of this area, he knows exactly what's available for them. And I mean, literally right across the street, Hot Springs Country Club, so not too bad. Hey, so we've had a good weekend also. As Travelers had a real good week also. And
Of course.
They continue again tonight and tomorrow with that series against Northwest Arkansas. So tickets are still available for them. And so pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
In-state rivalry. And, I know we talked about the summer heat all throughout the show today, but, it's always cool at Dickey-Stephens Park. You're right there next to the river, that cooler air coming off the river. I know you're like, oh man, do I really want to drive to Little Rock? Yeah, you do. You want to see this team in action. They're having another great year. They're in line to try to defend their Texas League championship, looking for a strong second half of the season. In-state rivalry as well. It's a perfect night for baseball as well. Another one to send your way, Tracy. We're talking about, new landings at local high schools. How about Jessieville adding Hot Springs native Brady Prince as an assistant coach for baseball and football? Of course, we are looking to talk with head coach Jonathan Bates for Jessieville High School coming up on a future show as well. And we're really excited for all the growth that we've seen in Lion Country over the past few years.
Well, I know they're in good hands, and there's no doubt that, especially, I'm going to tell you this, Mark, they're growing up there big time. And it just seems like exciting times. Not only have they put in, the new field, the new track, new everything, baseball, everything's just growing up there. And it's going to be exciting times for it to be a Lion. And last year, they were real close. And I think this year it's even going to be a little bit more. The conference has changed a little bit, but the pride of the Lions has always been there. And I think that they're going to be very competitive this year. So it's going to be pretty good stuff.
Last but certainly not least, we had an opportunity to talk to Vic Barrett of the Poen Indians a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations to Poen senior quarterback Colt Barrett committing to continue his football career at UAM, University of Arkansas at Monticello.
Be a mill rider, huh?
Absolutely. Hey, that's our show, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. We're here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m., and you can text the show at any time, 501-915-1300. Maybe let us know your favorite sports movie of all time. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. That's our show. We'll see you next week.
Game over.